is said to have a very, direct sense of candor. Like I said, it's the quality of being open and honest. So when the person tells you it's raining, well, it's raining. The person tells you, oh, this 200 kilogram. You check everywhere else, it's the same amount. It's 250 naira per kilogram. The person tells you, oh, it's 250 naira per kilogram. This store, this is what I've been. If you probably go somewhere else, you may find it. My boss has to sell at 250 naira. You go and come back, you meet the sales with the same thing. You're like, okay, all right, this person's problem. That's all. Speak to a nurse. There's maybe one person, everybody seems to take the person's word on. If this man says it is, forget about it. It is A. So our word for the day is candor. CANDO. Candor. The quality of being open and honest. COUR is British, OR is American. So candor. CANDOR or DOUR. Now, what is for today? Because it has a lot to do with our very first, which is about political representatives. Yeah. Now, in the news yesterday, it was stated, I'm sure you probably heard this, government area in Ikwerre, Charles Nwobodo emerged as the All Progressives Congress chairmanship candidate right ahead of the 30th of August local government election. Right, Charles. We're not about Charles Nwobodo. The conversation is about him. This is where the conversation is really about, because when I looked at that news report, it actually did say, that in that particular group, forget whether there is in that particular group, right, tickets with 64 votes out of 65 that was cast. Theme there, right? And then this group of people go together. It's a political, right? So people who are this political, right? So in it, they brought out their representation. Fine, no. Read a comment from Transition Monitoring Group coordinator, and he said something that was very, very profound. He said, "Look, lack in the candidate selection gives voters with little power to make meaningful choices." So, voters that would be, you, and obviously you, historically, particularly for years, would find people, that would then be. Now, that leads me to my question. First, let's listen to what the TMG said. Just let's listen to this.
Laws for the call of us who do not return to the electoral. But how do we carry that out? Not the electoral system. So for quality 5 positions. So even how have we been able to afford to recall political expectations? That's almost we have to get let people who should lead.
Hand, you have the political parties. Once again, it's not about APC, PDP, APC, or PDP, ADB, YGB, DT, no HTVT. No, that's not what it's about. It's about the fact that the political parties that usually bring forth these representatives have a very small group of people who select them. First things first, that means a good number of you are not even members of political parties. First things first. And then the next step, right, to this is the fact that when the people perceive that those who have been placed before them have already been chosen, there's apathy, which leads me to the question and the reason why candor is our word for the day is this. This is the question. How can political reps encourage the voters, that would be you, and you, to participate in elections? And I spoke to somebody else, and the person said, look, if we can find men and women with candor, that means if we can find men and women with the quality of being honest, transparent, maybe people would vote. But even if you have them, the people already shine away. So what do you expect people like Charles Wobodo, people like all the other representatives that have come through all these primaries, what do you think they should do to get people like you to come and vote? Because once again, it's a small group within the various political parties that have brought them. But I can bet my great-grandmother's grave that most of the people in any of the polling units right now, right, the ones that we already know, right, the ones who live in the communities, the ones who live in Rumokore, in Rumaholu, in Leozo, and whatever places that they live in, most of these people don't know these representatives by face, not to even talk of recognizing their names. Here we are. Once again,
the views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
Hello, Port Harcourt, with Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
So 017-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. At Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and X at Nigeria Info PH. All right. And then you can use the WhatsApp number. We encourage you to use the WhatsApp number, to send us messages only. Don't call. This number is strictly for the reception of messages. So the number is 0809 030 6416. 0809 030 6416. All right, Zion is on the line speaking to us from GRA. Zion, good morning to you. Welcome to Hello Port Harcourt. Good morning, please.
The average political mind in this our environment don't want you to join them at the deciding table. So there is nothing you can do, and there is nothing they can do to bring you to the fore, except you put yourself to that table where decisions have been made. This Sunday's candidate emerge. Did he emerge by merit? No.
Well, apparently they did. They cast votes. That's why I said it was a very small. If you listen, it's a small group of people. Small.
Good. The permutation is simple. See, I came into the four corners of politics in 2019. So I am not a small politician by definition. For your information, I'm a Goba aspirant in Bayelsa State, 2019. Go check the records. They decide, Mr. Jude has been doing well. He has the folklore, he has the strength, he has some level of, he can command this vote for our favor against the bigger unit. So let us make him a councillor. Let him go and represent. This is the deciding table. And our people from this side don't want to get involved, and that is the problem. The more the deciding table is few, the more we have more problems. But we can ask the deciding table to be majority, we are going to solve a lot of our problems. I've been by State from Friday, Saturday, I came back yesterday. Now politics carry me go there. We went to decide. There are some things we need to bring to the public for you to enjoy. There are some things we keep in secret for you not to know. The truth is, I want the large majority to come into politics. We shouldn't leave politics into the hands of mediocre. We are suffering it. Jude, we are suffering it. More people there, the decisions and opinion will be much, the minds will be intimidated, the opinions will be spread, and
So Zion, wait, before I let you go, we've lost Muriel. Muriel's on the line waiting. This is the real question. So you see, the process is being decided by a few people in the parties, because once again, most people listening to us are not members of political parties, so they've never entered the room. Now, these councillorship members, these governors, whatever they are, right? Since they've come through the quote unquote fair process in their political parties, my question is, how do they now convince me? How do they now convince you and the rest of the people down on your street that we should vote for them when the people don't even know them? What do they need to do to collect them and say, come and vote for us? 10 seconds.
That is the homework you need to do. The reason they brought Jude is because Jude already have influence. 60% of the vote, we know Jude will win it. So let us make him the councillor. We'll now go and deal with the remaining 40%. So what you need to do as an individual is to come sell yourself.
Okay. All right, Zion, thank you very much. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, more messages.
You are tuned in to
Nigeria Info.
We'll be right back after this.
All right, class, settle down.
You were listening to that piece of information. I just opened up the One Play page on my computer and getting ready to start to receive numbers. You had the information, oneplay.ng. The first draw, we do 2 draws every day on Hello Port Harcourt. I will get to that first one probably around 10:45 before 10:50, if I'm not mistaken, this morning. And then the last one, the second draw, will be by the same time. During the 11 o'clock hour. All right. So if you have any questions, just send them to me via WhatsApp. Now, before we get on to that, let's get to the immediate issue before us. Right. And that is the question. My question is this: how can political representatives encourage the voters, you, and you, to come and join the process? No, we're not talking about buying votes. We're not talking about sharing rice. We're talking about the conviction, right, that you as an electorate ought to have before you come through. Now, it has been said on several fora that most, if not, majority of the people who live in this country as Nigerians do not know their local government councillors by face or name. And to make this even more interesting, your representatives at the state and national levels are even far-fetched, far-flung from you. Back in 2016, I was in Kaduna. I made a detour coming back to Port Harcourt in Abuja to see my brother. And then his boss had a friend who was just visiting from Canada. And then he was telling us a story, the experience that day, that very day, that evening where we sat down to have dinner, that when he got to the airport, right, he was held at the immigrations. They were questioning him for something. He said, look, I have my Canadian passport. I also have a Nigerian passport because I was born here, but I've been living and working in Canada for over 15 years. So I have my permanent, not just my permanent residency, I have a passport. And I don't just have a passport, I'm also very active in the local politics in my area. So I didn't need to come and get the visa. We don't know you. We didn't get any. I said, I'm not on a diplomatic mission. I just came back to Nigeria to see my family. And so in the Bruha, he was held, he was detained, like, we don't really know you. In front of them, he didn't call the High Commissioner or the diplomatic attaché for Canada in Abuja. No, he called his counselor in Canada. That person was awoken by his call. He sent a message to buttress what he said, and in about 30 minutes, that counselor called the other person, his colleague in the embassy in Canada, in Abuja there. That person now called the airport and said, this man is a Canadian citizen. He's a member of so and so, and we have received his travel documents before he got here. We know that he doesn't need a visa to come through. This was back then, once again, 2016. Now, the story is not, Canada passport get levels. No, the story here is this man, in a bid to make sure he doesn't get his rights violated, right, to prove who he was, he called his counselor in Canada. How many of you, apart from us in the media, reporters, how many of you have ever walked down to where you have the local government area offices? There's one at Rumokoro, Obiak. How many of you have walked down there, knocked at the gate, and said, I would like to see the local government chairman? Let me get to know. How many of you have done that? How many of you know him? Apart from when they come and splatter their posters very shortly, when election cycles return. But before that, how many of you know that? And so now that this process has brought these individuals, the question we're asking is, these individuals, the reason why we're asking this question is, these individuals who are going to represent all these various political parties, right? We're asking you that, look, what do you need to do to get them to come and vote for you? Because yes, you are representing a party, but it is been the same story where people come to vote. We see the records. Oh, in this ward, there are 400 people registered, but only 12
92.3 Nigeria Info.
0817-923-0002. 0817-923-0003. We have Muriel from Okrika and Michael in Rukwaku standing by. Good morning to you, Muriel.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, please.
Happy New Week.
I wish you the same. Welcome.
Look, Jude, for me, I meet someone and the person does not even know this person. We've not even heard anything from the person. And all of a sudden, the person is a sole candidate. You just let the people just feel less interested. Now, then, for me, during the primary time, let it be almost exactly as the campaign period. You know, you present the people, okay, look at the three candidates, just like this new coalition now. You say, okay, the people look at the candidates we have, go online and vote. Who do you want to be our sole candidate? Get the people involved from the beginning. Look, when someone is involved from the beginning and they pick somebody they like, let it not be sincere, let it be online. You know, when the people vote and they choose someone, you see that they will follow the process to the end. You don't just throw anybody at all. The people that are, because you know, these candidates will begin to lobby the 3 or 5, 10 persons that will just bring them up as sole candidates. They don't really have our time as the people. So they just look for ways, look for money, as much money as they can to come out, to lobby their way out as the sole candidate. So at the end of the day, they just say that they are the sole candidates. Then they begin to look at the top, who, you know, to begin to give money more. The people are not involved from the beginning, so the people will not be interested. You want to get the people interested in voting, get them to start the process from scratch. Let them pick up their candidate themselves, vote, and the highest vote, the highest person that has the highest vote, come out as the sole candidate.
Michael from Rukwaku, good morning. Oh dear. We lost that contact. That was Michael from Rukwaku. Let's get to read messages now on WhatsApp. All right, let's get to WhatsApp. 0809-030-6416. 0809-030-6416. Once again, this last number is for the reception of WhatsApp messages only. WhatsApp messages only. We want to have people with a very genuine sense of candor, frankness, openness, transparency, right, in this business. That man, Mr. Chinedu, he is a very dependable man. He is really firm with his word, and you can always bank on his candor. You see, you can bank on his openness, on his frankness. That's the kind of man we want. Let me read your messages. All right. This one says, Jude, candor is not in the nature and DNA of a Nigerian man, so it can never be found amongst us. Engineer Jonathan, that's not exactly true. Would you say you are not a man of candor? Would you say you're not open? Would you say you are not frank? Would you say, you are not honest? Would you say that if someone comes to you and the person says, oh, Engineer Jonathan, what time is it? You tell the person it is 2:00. Meanwhile, it is 5. Are you saying you are not that man? You're not an honest person? Is that what you're saying? Well, what do I know? Asatikoe for my 3 says, greetings, Jude. It's a very simple thing. Let our votes count in the main election so that the smaller circles of political parties will have no choice but to be transparent to themselves, because if the process is obscure and a very popular candidate is shortchanged, then they will leave and contest elsewhere, making the other party to lose out. If our votes don't count, we are joking in this country. Joking if the votes don't count. Oh, speaking of voting that count, how many of you have ever read or studied Switzerland's democracy? Right? Let me quickly draw it up for you. Switzerland's democracy. It's a very interesting style. They practice direct form, if not the most direct form of democracy in Switzerland. It's fascinating. I'm going to try and get some excerpts for you so I can share with you. All right, so back to the phone lines now. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. At Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH. All right. Once again, please, the last number I'm going to call out right now is strictly for the reception of messages. Don't call this number. This number is where you send us messages via WhatsApp or SMS. All right. Please. It is 0809 030 6416, 0809 030 6416. That's where you can send us your messages. Thank you very much. Well, Jay, good morning. I don't think these politicians or these reps, like you call them, have to do anything to get the people involved. The people have to decide, in capital letters here, the people have to decide to get involved. Many Nigerians, particularly here in Rivers State, will just sit down, fold their arms and wait for a name to come up, and then they get to be convinced to vote. It shouldn't be that way. I encourage, just like you said, that most people are not in political parties. I encourage more people to register in political parties. Be active. Get to see who and what is happening in your parties. It's because we don't get involved in political parties. That's why hoodlums, and that's why people who don't have sense care. Hey, this is a very strong word message. Anyway, so that's why people who don't have sense come in and then they want to rule us. You need to get involved. The first thing first is people should get involved in political parties. Simple and short. All right. Mr. Politics there. It says it's only possible if the majority of the masses join during the selection process. Okay, this person is echoing the same message. It's only possible if the majority of the masses join during the selection, not these few greedy emperors who don't mean anything good about the society, but their selfish interests. We will never get it right. Michael Sunday with that comment. At Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. At Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. Yakubu is on the line from Bonny. Let's get to say hello to Yakubu. Yakubu, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Jude.
Good morning, Yakubu.
What we are discussing, if we want to get it right from the presidency, we have to get it right from local government.
Okay.
In as much as proper thing is not done in the recruitment of leaders, it will go up like that up to presidency. You see, what I observed on that Saturday, I just laugh. I say we are just making caricature of this thing we call democracy. Me, I did not see any person of democracy. What happened that day? I don't know anybody, but I went there just to observe what is going on.
Interesting.
Yes, because on earth, I know it is not a general election, it's primary election. But if you don't get the right people there, it's the same thing that will happen. We keep on complaining, and we don't even think a minute how we're going to make a change. There's somebody I know there. I know you very well. He does not have any character of being a leader. He has, I don't know how they are going to do, because he has multiple criminal records here and there.
Okay, so Yakubu, but Yakubu, see that you just mentioned something very important. How would people know when the people refuse to go to those places? Just like you did, you went there to you were observing. Abi, that's what you said.
Yes, I'm not part of it. I don't have any. I'm not.
Fine, but you see, a lot of people did not go to do what you did. A lot of people are not even in the political parties where they should even know. Maybe that's where the problem is.
And they expect the thing to change. How can it change? And look at it, I say, wow. Even the person saw me. He said, okay, come here. I say, yes. Who will you support? I said, I'm only supporting the system. The system to work. Say, well, I know where you belong to. I say, I belong to nowhere. But I've seen characters here. Okay, how on earth can you contest election? They say they give waiver for tax, what they call it, tax clearance.
Okay.
It's part of it. It's part of requisites for anybody contest any political.
Should have tax documentation.
Yes, and this one they say they are giving waiver for it.
I see what you mean.
Jesus Christ.
I see what you mean, Yakubu.
I just see, Mr. Jude.
Yes, please.
We have a lot to do.
Indeed, we do.
Let me just quote from Fela, one of the Fela tracks. He said, "They look for African man, the man with low mentality is the one to make a leader, so that they can manipulate him."
Manipulation.
If we are serious, we have to start the change from this level.
From
this level.
On the lower levels. Okay. All right, Yakubu, an observer, says he went to see for himself. Interesting. Now, I did tell you that I would like to share something very interesting with you about the democracy practice in Switzerland. All right. Now, Switzerland is renowned for its direct democracy, where citizens have a very strong influence on policy through initiatives and referendums. Now, it's direct democracy. So that means citizens can propose new laws or constitutional amendments for a popular vote. So that's the way we're talking here on Nigeria Info. If it gets a lot of followers, people sign, petitions, then they go straight. They don't wait for their they carry it to their representatives. That's one. Prince is on the line from Rumokuta. Prince, good morning to you, please.
Yeah, Mr. Jude.
Good morning, Prince.
My dear, this country, I don't know how we can get it to work, because you can agree with me that power is resident at the center, and from there they control everything. I doubt whether our votes actually count in this country. Yeah, Jude. Do you think I vote can?
Well, if it didn't count, they won't be trying to get you to vote. They won't be trying to buy the votes. They will be trying to, force you to vote. It does count.
I think they do that only to have some semblance of that exercise. They show to the outer world that election actually took place before them hijacking the voting. And the other, I saw people be talking to some crowds about how they vote or how they should vote and follow their votes up. But I begin to wonder, even if we follow the votes up, does it mean at the collection center at the highest level there that they don't announce what they like? If I can recall, in 2015, at the collection center in Abuja, when the people was protesting what we were announcing, that this is not what they brought to this place. I announced nothing. And nothing happened. So I believe that I'm not saying we should not get involved in political process, but I think we should do more.
Well, that's the question, Prince. What do you think these representatives, those who are in the political parties now, who have now come out now, before I get to that cuckoo in a chair, what do they need to do so that people like you will actually say, you know what, let me go and vote in this local government election?
Currently now, the process of the real change has not started. This one they want to do now. It's a normal thing that we are doing already now. I think we should prepare against 2027 to get fully involved. That's what I'm thinking. I know at this politics in Nigeria here, there are some factors that counts the election year. One is violence. Two is money.
Well, I like to believe that we're getting. I like to believe we're getting better in the frowns against violence. Thank you very much, Prince. Dakuku is on the line from Echija. Dakuku, good morning to you, please.
Good morning, Jude. Good morning, Nigeria.
Good morning.
Jude, so I want to ask you a question. Can I ask you?
Well, I may not have the answer, but I'm sure you asked the general public.
Okay. I want to ask you, is it right to do something wrong when somebody did wrong? You still repeat your own into this, what is going to result? One, let me tell you, when the Supreme Court consulted the election here, they say it's not up to 90 days. Supreme Court rule it out. But now, how many days are they conducting this election now in River State? And it come up now, these people, the same people who are people, are the same people who buy from, they are not better, who buy from in APC to conduct the election. And they say they are in APC, they are in PDP. Is it a good democracy in this country?
Well, Dakuku, wait, hold on. Dakuku, I don't have the answers to this question, right? But that's why people like you and those who are listening should go to the political parties and register, join the process, so that you can ask these questions, you can make challenges of these questions. Or isn't that what you have been saying to me? Good morning, Jude. Good morning, presenter. This is what they say. The truth is that even if you come out or not, these politicians have their personal candidates and young men loyal to them. And if you watch very well, the forthcoming elections is a waste of River State funds because their list is available in their hands. I beg, I don't tire since for our kind of politics. God's King in PH. Well, once again, God's King's sentiment pretty much echo that of the TMG, that look, very few numbers across all the political parties, came and said, okay, this man is going to be our representative. He's going to represent us in the councillorship election. Look at the one in front of us. 64 votes out of 65 cast rather during the election. So there were only 65 people, who were willing to vote in that place for a whole only 65 people. What about the hundreds, the thousands that were employed as special as we need to start to be honest with ourselves. You want a change, but you are sat down at home. And for those of you who are these who are the representatives, the real question, the work is really for you, because how can you, in all honesty, say you are representing 200,000 people, 1 million people in your local government area, in any part of Nigeria? But since we're in Port Harcourt, whether it's Obiakpo, whether it's Falga, Emowa, whether it's Onelga, whether it's Eche, or even Ogoni, how can you, in all honesty, say you are representing the hundreds of thousands or the millions of people in these areas when you are not known by them? You're not known by them. And then the people who actually came through to get you in front of the crowd were 65, 70, 100, 200 people. Pata, maybe 1,000 people in that political party, assuming that 1,000 people came for those primaries to vote for you. Let's say it's 1,000 people. So you may not really be represented. Yes, the system is actually flawed in the way it is actually being executed. But the system itself is a good system. You should have representation at the local, state, and federal levels. Nobody has a qualms with that. After all, that's what the Swiss people do. Oh, yes. They don't joke with their democracy. It's so powerful that they hold the most referendums at the national level more than any other country on this planet. So that means if the people are not involved, they won't do it. Maybe that's what you in the PDP, APC, ADC, FFP, LP, UP, YP, SDP, YKKP, and the Bole Fish Party of Nigeria, BPN. That's me, by the way. Maybe that's what we all should do. Get the people involved.
The show continues after this break on Nigeria Info.
Football is